Here we are, Bustin Chops, Calling Shots, episode 111. Choppy, how art thou?
I mean, I think 2 weeks in a row, I'm impressed that just we were able to.
This is what happens when you work. It's a beautiful thing, Chop.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Are
good,
you ready?
man. Good. It's very cold here in Kansas City. We're about to get hit with a bunch of snow, and it's supposed to be negative 25 tomorrow. So I feel great.
Yeah, we're supposed to get like 20 inches here in Virginia, so have at it. So little championship weekend, AFC, NFC divisional championships. Here we go.
Yep.
You have to excuse me. I'm in a crazy meeting room in a hotel.
I know. I asked you. I was like, "Are you selling used cars now? What's going on?"
So every once in a while, I got to be like,
Yeah, John's now selling used Hondas. If you need one, come on down. You know what I mean?
Would never sell cars. No offense to anybody that sells cars. Just not my thing. I'm not man enough to sell cars.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. You want to start off? Let's start off with a little coaching news before we hop into the games, and then we also need to recap what happened last week. So,
did the Bills sign Belichick and Daboll yet?
No, but you know what?
Then there's nothing to talk.
Old grandpa's getting a head coaching.
Oh, Jesus!
You know what? I like it.
He can't put in the time nor the work. He has 19 kids and 4 grandkids on the way this week.
Yeah, I mean, he has to pay for all those kids.
That thing's like a factory
position for him.
You know, kudos to him. I don't know how his wife's had so many kids and still God has blessed her. Let's just say that.
You know, I don't hate this. I think if you look at the end of Philip Rivers'
career,
he
hasn't coached other than high school, Chop.
Hang on.
It's a horrible idea.
Dude's a Hall of Famer. I think, he commanded the offense definitely the last half of his career. You look at what he did when he came in for Indy, immediately commanded the offense. You watch him on the sidelines with Riley Leonard, Philip Rivers, natural leader. If they do, which I don't think they hire him for this role, right? I think they're giving him an interview. I do think, though, within the next couple coaching cycles, Rivers is a head coach.
How? Your qualification can't be a Hall of Famer. Terrell Owens is a Hall of Famer. Is T.O. going to get a head coaching job next? You're going to put Terrell Owens? No, even better. After we've watched Michael Irvin's escapades on the sideline for the Miami Hurricanes, you want Michael Irvin to be a head coach?
No, you cannot compare Michael Irvin to Grandpa Philip Rivers.
Why? He's a Hall of Famer.
It's not the same thing.
Which, by the way, kudos to Michael Irvin. That dude still has a six-pack in his ripped at 50. Like, I was like, he had his shirt like up at the national championship game. I'm like, Michael Irvin looks like DK Metcalf. He's like 50 years old. What the heck?
I don't know. He's on that TRT for sure. So my thing with it is, if he does
thank our sponsor, Premier Protein Cafe Latte.
And I can't even talk. I think if he gets a head coaching job, he's going to bring in a great offensive coordinator and a great defensive coordinator, and he's going to be there to lead the team. And I think Philip Rivers is a leader. So I don't hate it. I mean,
he has to be a leader. He's got 19 kids in that household.
And see, lots of experience in leading a team. I like it.
I think
he's got enough kids. He could actually –
I think this is a horrible idea.
Honestly, all jokes aside, I do think he gets a head coaching job in the next couple of years. I don't think it happens this cycle. I do think Daboll is it's his job to lose in Buffalo. I expect him to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
No, I don't want him to be the head coach yet. He's not ready to be a head coach.
I think he's ready in Buffalo.
No. Bill Belichick.
New York City.
Bill Belichick is the head coach. Daboll is the offensive coordinator. Just like
Belichick's not going to Buffalo.
Just like when Parcells went to the Jets and the Patriots, the plan was to have Belichick follow him.
Yeah. Belichick's not going to Buffalo.
Why?
It works. He's too busy in North Carolina with co-eds. I don't know.
No, he would love the chance to beat Robert Kraft.
Maybe.
In the division.
All right, let's move on. Let's not give too much. I do think the Rivers thing's interesting. I think he will be a head coach at some point. I really do.
I think this is all absurd.
I don't think
go ahead.
It's
horrible.
Harbaugh to the Giants. He's got Jackson Dart. He's got Cam Scatterbo. What do we think about this move?
I love all the memes and the funny stuff people put out about Scatterbo. I get cracked up at least once a day.
I mean, the dude is insane.
Yeah, somebody had one of like the Happy Gilmore in front of the batting cage, like the ball's bouncing off of him, and had
that's
like
a perfect example. Have you seen the one with him in college where he's like before the game ramming his head into the brick wall with his helmet on?
Yeah. Listen, John's got a lot of pieces. It's not a lack of young talent. They have draft picks. Now, what I will say is Jackson Dart is not an NFL quarterback.
Well, no, because he leads with his head and he's going to be concussed half the year.
He can't throw the ball good enough. He can't make quick enough decisions. He's too brittle. He's too small. And again, I watched what he did in bowl games, and I watched what he did in the game we went to. Me and the wife took our son. We went to watch him play Kentucky and watched him choke that one away. Like,
not wife yet. She still has time to get out of this thing. So
she is not. She is tied up in a basement at an undisclosed location as we speak.
I don't
got her on ice and got her on ice until July 31st. Anyway, yeah, I'm taking her to a cabin next weekend. She just doesn't know I'm not letting her out till July 31st. So no, in all seriousness,
talk about incriminating.
Yeah, we'll scrub this. I mean, listen, if Hillary can get rid of thousands of emails, we can get rid of one episode. So I'm just thinking,
not rich though.
Jackson Dart, I just don't think he's an NFL quarterback. And here's another thing: people are going to probably chastise me and say, "Oh, well, look at what he did in this game or did in this game." Listen, most of the time the Giants were from behind and he sucked. The second part of it is I've seen this show a million times. I've seen a glimmer of hope, and it always works out. And tell me if I'm wrong, the way I predicted it, right? Which is I said Baker Mayfield is going to be a bum. He's ended up being a bum. CJ Stroud came out, and I said he's an Ohio State quarterback.
The CJ Stroud thing. We both said he would regress.
He came out the first year. Everybody wanted to anoint him like he was the second coming of Doug Williams. And now where has he been since his rookie year? He's sucked every year.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Jalen Daniels of Washington, when we drafted him here, I said, listen, this is RG3 all over again. And just like RG3, I was right. One good year, you'll never hear from him again. He'll have a couple of highlights here and there, and you'll say what could have been. And there is no what could have been.
God, John's car dealership can't even keep the lights on.
There is no listen. 6-2 last night on the bet, so I can afford the lights. Him and RG3, same thing. Listen, once you get tape on a guy, once you get tape and then you get a full offseason, then you know what you got. Jackson Dart is going to flop. He's just going to flop. He doesn't have enough Josh Allen ability, right? And even Josh Allen, who I'm a huge fan of, obviously, he's an athletic freak, right? His best years were with Daboll. I wouldn't call him. I know he plays. Here's another thing we got to stop doing. We got to stop calling an extreme unicorn athlete or a guy like Caleb Williams that can flick it off of his wrist like Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think that the fingernail polish helps him?
I don't know what it is.
Is it a grippy?
But just because they run fast, they can run over people, or they can flick it 80 yards, falling away in the back of the end zone, doesn't mean you're a great quarterback.
No, it doesn't.
Right? And a 4, 5, 6 game run does not mean you're a great quarterback. This is my whole argument. I know we're going to get into it, but like the Sam Darnold thing, people are telling me MVP. I'm like, listen, stop. He's still the same guy that played with the Panthers and the Jets.
I mean, he looks
He's
pretty
still
good.
That same guy. He's still that same guy that choked it away with Minnesota. He's still that same guy.
Until he proves you wrong. Maybe he does.
And if he does, I'm still going to say he's not that guy because, listen, he's had the best running back duo in the NFL, a huge offensive line that's great, and a defense that is phenomenal, and probably the best special teams in the league. So you got a top 3 defense, the best special teams in the league. Yeah, of course you're going to look good. Of course. Think about this, Chop. He's going out there throwing 3 picks and winning football games.
So what you're saying is you think Drake May should be the MVP over him?
Over Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
No, Matthew Stafford. But Drake May is another one. Now, I do think Drake May will have a solid career.
He will.
But let's not – Drake May
– for sure.
But after this year, we will no longer put Drake May in an MVP discussion. Will not happen.
You never
That
know.
guy showed me fumbling against Houston. Listen, he can throw some dimes, and I think he has more of an upside than a Jackson Dart. But these quarterbacks, man, these college quarterbacks are not some of these guys are just getting way too much pub. Like Dante Moore of Oregon.
Here's the problem.
I need somebody to stop telling me how good that guy is.
Here's the problem with college. College used to develop quarterbacks. They don't anymore. The portal has ruined college football in so many different ways. And one is you have these young quarterbacks that hop around from team to team. There's no time for development. So by the time they get to the NFL, they're not developed. And the NFL isn't taking time to develop quarterbacks. If you're not 75, 80% of the way there when you get to the NFL, you're screwed. So like the portal is creating a big issue. And we see when you have to call Grandpa Phillip Rivers out of retirement to try to get you in the playoffs,
there you go.
You have a quarterback problem. And it starts at the college level. They have got to get it figured out, or you're going to continue to see these quarterbacks get to the NFL and they're lost because that development they used to have at the college level is gone. I mean, they may have played for 4 different teams in their college career. How the hell are you supposed to develop a quarterback if you play for a different team every year? So there's a significant problem in college football, and it's spilling into the NFL where these quarterbacks are getting there and they're nowhere near ready for the NFL. None. And it's a problem that needs to get fixed. We can talk about all the issues with NIL and the portal. There's all types of problems. That is one of those they have got to figure out because you're just going to send these kids to the NFL and they're going to flop. You may get lucky with a couple of them, but the development of the quarterback needs to really pick up again in college football, or there's going to continue to be this where you're having to call 45-year-old, granddads out of retirement to fill in to try to get you in the playoffs because the quarterback pool is so limited in the NFL.
I mean, there was a lot of people speculating would Drew Brees come back for the final 2 games for the Broncos.
And that's what I'm talking about. That is
listen, if Tom Brady didn't have ownership,
he would
with the Raiders.
Yeah, for sure.
He would be in the saddle for Denver this weekend and then fly to Seattle and announce the game in his uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. And it speaks to the core. It speaks to the problem in
Is
college.
me doing the light thing throwing you off?
Nah, it's fine. You're always crazy, so it doesn't bother me. It speaks to the bigger problem in college football right now. There's no continuity. There's no time for development. Everybody's hopping around all over the place. You look at Indiana. Why they won the national championship? 1, Signetti is a mobster. But 2, they were a seasoned team. They had played together for a long time. They had developed, and then they went out and were able to perform together. And you're not seeing that as the consistent in college football. Every year the roster's turning over completely. And that's not what any of us intended when we started talking about this portal and NIL. It's gone.
Well,
completely.
I mean, the very first thing is you need to fix the calendar. I thought John Calipari basketball did a really good job saying, listen, you get 1 transfer. The only way you get a second one is if the coach gets fired or leaves. Because I do believe a kid should be able to leave. Like if I recruit you. Yeah, if I recruit you and I get canned, you should be able to leave and go.
But here's another
outside of that, you should have to set a year. And then the other thing, we got to put some age restrictions on this because Carson Beck ain't had to go to class. He's just out there showing up.
Now, I will say, in Carson Beck's defense, COVID did mess up the eligibility year. So we're past that now. We shouldn't have that issue. What I would like to see is you either take the NIL money or you go into the portal. You can't do both. So I can't take the NIL money at Texas this year and next year enter the portal and go to Alabama. You either take the NIL money or you get your portal spot, but you don't get both. And I think that would calm this down a lot because kids are going to look at it and go, okay, if I take the NIL money at Texas, I'm stuck here for my college career, unless I would make an exception if the coach gets fired. You get a transfer.
Yeah, I think that has to be an exception. That has to be.
If the coach gets fired, you get a transfer. But if you take those NIL dollars, you are stuck at that university until you graduate or you declare for the NFL draft. If you don't take the NIL money, you can enter the portal once, with the exception of if the coach is gone, you get a second transfer. But you can enter the portal and go somewhere else, and you can take the NIL money there. That's fine. But you get one or the other. You don't get both. You can't hop around every year searching for a paycheck. That's not how this was meant to work.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think John Harbaugh, back to the Giants, went down a rabbit hole and found
we
Bugs
haven't
Bunny.
done this for a while. I got all these pent up ideas. I got to get them out.
Yeah. Well, hey,
that was a good idea.
No. So I like Harbaugh. It was
Yep.
great hire. The
Yep.
Giants need an adult to get this thing straight.
Yes, they do.
Also,
Harbaugh can weather New York and the media. He can handle that.
And it also, there's two big things that come out of this. Three. One, he's going to find out real quick. Jackson Dart may love football, but he's not. Jackson Dart stands for NFL, and it's not NFL quarterback. It's not for long, right? So they'll be drafting a new quarterback soon enough. Part two of this just goes to show that the Redskin and Cowboy franchises are doomed for another decade. Because now the Giants finally have their stuff together, and them and Philly run like well-oiled businesses, and the Cowboys and the Redskins are ran like little country clubs. So Washington and Dallas, you don't have to worry about. One of you might sneak up and win the division, but over the next 10 years, it's just going to keep being Giants and Eagles. The third part of this is now we're set up. I want to see the Harbaugh versus Harbaugh Super Bowl again.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That's what I take from all this.
All right. So we have a couple other moves. Stefanski to the Falcons, and then the Ravens.
I can't wait for the Falcons to rip a hole in Tampa Bay's ass. Did you see your little boy Baker Mayfield? He's such a petty child.
I mean,
such a petty child.
He did start it, so
No, he didn't.
Let's be
clear. He
clear.
comes out and he's like, "Oh, I'm still waiting for a text on Stefanski." Dude, it's been like 3 freaking years. Do you go to bed and think about that every night?
You can't honestly tell me how Cleveland handled Baker Mayfield was right.
Listen,
it was not.
Cleveland is exactly what Stefanski said, a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also correct. When Baker was with Cleveland, I understand Baker won him a playoff game, and that's more than they've had since freaking Bernie Kosar. I'm aware.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is Baker Mayfield, the reason why he left Cleveland was because he was acting like a child. All of his teammates said it. His coaches said it. He was a hot-headed child. And it's funny because just 6 months ago, I was watching this clip how he talked about God broke me down. I had to hit rock bottom. It was the best thing ever. And now you turn right around and come out and act like a child because Stefanski's in the division.
I don't think it was that big.
Baker Mayfield needs to understand he's not going anywhere in Tampa because A, all he can do is not show up in big games. And B, Todd Bowles is his head coach that looks like somebody in a nursing home trying to eat peas off a plate. He sucks. Bowles sucks. Can't wait for Stefanski. Love the hire.
Okay. And then
what's next?
Ravens. This one was weird for me. Defensive coordinator Mentor from the Chargers goes to be the head coach of the Ravens. You and those friggin' lights. This is a weird one for me. And the whole thing around Harbaugh leaving the Ravens and like Lamar Jackson, all the rumors and that he's difficult. I mean, Lamar this year didn't do himself any favors. I think it really looked like he kind of quit on the team.
Really? You don't say.
I just wonder how this Ravens thing's going to work. They're going to have to go find them another quarterback. And I can't in my right mind think, and they talked about, Lamar, if you want to be here and be a part of the process, you got to get to Baltimore and get off vacation. I don't think this is going to be a hire that Lamar Jackson's all that stoked for.
Listen, again, I'm probably going to be in the minority. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson is one of the top 5 most freakish athletes we've seen at the quarterback position. He also has a cannon for an arm.
Does.
Okay.
It's not.
However, Baltimore was good before he got there. Remember, they won a Super Bowl not too long before he got there with Joe Flacco.
They did. Yeah.
Lamar's phenomenal, and he's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
He is not this prolific all-pro Hall of Famer that everybody has tried to make him out to be.
No.
He's just not.
He's just
because the reality of the situation is he's not even better than Michael Vick, in my opinion.
No.
Like, if Michael Vick didn't get wrapped up in some bad decisions, Lamar Jackson would never catch him in any stat, right? So what has happened is, and this is my fear with Josh Allen, when you run like you run, and then you're forced to play quarterback because either you can't run that much anymore or you're injury prone, now comes into question what scouts look at. Yeah. And that's being able to break down the defense. And when you watch a lot of Tom Brady stuff, you know, Brady had no athleticism. Like, he has a great physique and all that now, and how he eats and trains his body, but he was never the strongest or the biggest arm or the quickest guy. He just outworked people and was very smart. And I'm not saying Lamar isn't smart. What I'm saying is, I sat there and watch it. You know, me and Robin have sat there and watched game after game, and like, why is he not running? Like, he's got a clear path to pick up 15 yards. Yeah. And he stays back there and tries to thread it into triple coverage like he's Dan Marino. Dude, you're not that guy. No. That's not you. Mm-hmm. You're not that good of a throwing quarterback. Can you spin it? There's a lot of people that can spin it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, listen, Sean Payton just came out. I know we're about to get into the games, but he said, Stiddy's going to spin it. We're going to let him flick it. Like, every quarterback in the NFL can throw the ball to some degree. So let's not act like – but to say you're like this 15, 20-year quarterback, not crazy, freakish athlete playing quarterback, are two completely different things. And we've been getting this wrong for like the last 20 years. And I don't know why we're so obsessed with
you and those lights.
I don't know why we're so obsessed with this and why we can't figure this out.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. Yeah, so I'll be interested to see. I don't think Lamar's long for Baltimore. I think they're going to have to make a change at some point.
Listen, there was rumors this week about the Raiders giving the Ravens the number one pick in Max Crosby for Lamar Jackson. I'm like, there's no way Tom Brady's that stupid. There's no way.
I mean, I think Brady's got Mendoza on the brain there.
Yeah, Lamar's got 2, maybe 3 years. At the end of this contract, he's done. Baltimore will try to move off of him. And I'm going to be interested to see how good is Baltimore without Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's really easy to say, they're not listening to his voice. Kind of like the Mike Tomlin thing. Like, Pittsburgh, be very careful what you ask for.
It's such a dumb move. God.
Listen, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, what has Mike Tomlin won? Well, you know what? At some point in time, you got to give Mike Tomlin, go with the old Bill Parcells. The least they can do is let you shop for some of the groceries. When's he had a quarterback? Like, Big Ben, he was all right, but people make Ben Roethlisberger out like he was this great quarterback because he won 2 Super Bowls. Well, the first one wasn't him. It was that defense and the bus and what Cowher had. The second one, they should have never have beaten the Cardinals. If you go back and watch the game, they should have never beaten them. Mm-hmm. So, and Roethlisberger could never beat the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, those guys consistently. So I can make the argument Pittsburgh hasn't had a quarterback really in the last 12 years. Like the back half of Roethlisberger, and then they keep going through these retreads. So people talk about Mike Tomlin, they get tired of he hasn't had a losing season. You know how hard it is not to have a losing season in 19 years?
That's wild.
And so now what are you going to go with?
That, man. Like, to not have a losing season in that long is –
So poll Pittsburgh fans, Mike Tomlin or Mike McCarthy?
No.
Mike Tomlin or Brian Flores, which I love Flores. I think he should get a job.
Tomlin in both of those.
Name me somebody out there that's better. Chris Shula, defensive coordinator of the Rams, I've heard a lot. Him or Mike Tomlin?
I'm still taking Tomlin.
Right now, I can put on Tomlin. He maybe hasn't hired the best offensive coordinators,
but also what he's had to work with at quarterback has not been good.
Dude, they ran into a year staring down the barrel of Mason Rudolph, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's get into obviously we want to talk about last weekend's games real quick. We'll talk about the national championship game on Monday night. Fantastic. Indiana gets it done, like I said. Picked
up over 12 units on that game. But go ahead. Breaktheboardsports.com.
Yeah.
Promo code NFL50. A little bit of plug.
Incredible game. Incredible national championship game. Indiana was what I thought they would be. They were disciplined. They're at the end. Mendoza puts him on his back with that touchdown run. I thought the videos of his mom.
That was an instant classic play.
Incredible. And then the cut to his mom and dad celebrating if that doesn't get you a little misty, you got a problem.
Listen, I've watched Kirk Cinetti live and in person at JMU, right down the road. Love him. I love Mendoza. I love the Indiana story. And Indiana's been the best team in college football all year long. They deserve to be the national champion.
Yep.
But let's not get this wrong. Miami outplayed them from start to finish. You take a block punt, which wasn't even trying to be blocked. The guy, number 87, that poor kid, and I mean this with all sincerity, I hope people are checking on this kid every day because it's really hard to say one play cost you a game, but that play costed you the game. There's no other, he just threw it out, and the Indiana guy wasn't even running hard. He had given up until he realized this guy's not going to touch me. I mean, Miami.
Look, Carson Beck did have the ball at the end to go win it, and he couldn't do it.
But listen, if there's not the punt, that's irrelevant, right?
Yeah, you can play ifs all day.
No, I know. If ifs and nuts were butts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I get that. I'm just saying you can't sit there and say that Indiana dominated them. Now, listen, I'm happy as a lark because I love Cignetti, love Mendoza. I want them to win.
Indiana was
I had Indiana with the Rams the previous day, money line parlay for 6 units. And then I gave out Miami plus 8.5 for a double unit. Gave out a teaser with Miami plus it. It worked out. Gave out the under 24.5 first. It worked out perfect. Perfect. Yep. I'm just saying Miami came to play, Chop. That looked like the Miami when you and me were kids.
Yep.
With Gore and Reed and Ray Lewis, that's what that Miami. So that was really positive. What I thought was really weird though is Tony entered the transfer portal,
and
and I'm like, you look like you are a you guy,
and that's the portal. I'm not.
But it was a great game. It was an ESPN classic. That Mendoza effort to get over the goal line, we'll never forget that.
Nope.
Tony is going to be one of the top. I mean, he already is one of the top 5 players in college football. Look out for him for the Heisman. That dude's electric when he gets the ball in his hands.
He is.
And what's this? Going back to the Steelers real quick, since you brought up the Hurricanes, Mario Cristobal is going to interview with the Steelers?
Why? They don't know. No.
This is what people do.
No. All right, let's jump. We'll talk a little bit about division weekend before we break down this weekend's games. Everything kind of went how I thought it would score-wise. I mean, we were close games, except for the Seahawks just absolutely bending the 49ers over. What happened there? I had the 49ers plus 17.5, and I'm like, I feel really good about this. And then
they ruined every 10-point teaser I had.
Electrical substations messing with their brains. What's going on with the 40? Something ain't right.
Well, listen.
Not expecting.
Listen, there's a couple things with San Francisco, and we also got to stop doing this. Listen, Dan Quinn gets lit up and gives up 40 points as defensive coordinator with the Cowboys to the Packers in a playoff game, and Washington hires him as a head coach. Then Robert Saleh gives up 41 I mean, some of them were special teams, but he gives up 41 and gets a head coaching job. And it's like,
well, in Salah's defense, I
like Salah too. I like Salah too, but it's like, just think about it. You can suck at your job and get promoted. It just blows my mind. San Francisco doesn't have enough pass rushers, for one.
No, they don't.
For two, they have to fire the whole training medical staff because this injury bug.
Did you see what they're talking about? So there's
I know.
Do you think there's anything to it?
I get it. And the water rising and the global warming, the world's going to be gone.
Don't talk global warming anymore. Hold on. It's called climate change.
Okay. In 900 years, yada, yada. Okay.
Trying to cover
the power plant's the most ridiculous thing I've heard of. Like, the reality is you need to fire all the training, medical, therapy people, everybody, because this isn't a this year problem, Chop. The Niners have been going through this for 4 years.
This is a problem, I think, across the NFL right now. And I have a suspicion as to what's called. So
a hypothesis?
I have a hypothesis. Okay, so you're seeing a lot more injuries, right? You're seeing a lot more Achilles, ACL. I don't think we are conditioning these, and I say that sitting here very fluffy. I don't think we're conditioning these players.
Grab another cheeseburger, Bubba.
Hey, lost 140 pounds, baby. So watch it.
Love it. Love it.
No, I don't think the conditioning is the same as it used to be. I think some of these teams with their camp are still, but there's a lot of restrictions in the NFL now about padded practices and contact and what you can do and what you can't do. In the olden days, when you really could just beat the crap out of each other, you are conditioning your body to handle the abuse. We don't do that the same way anymore. I mean, we have all the fitness stuff and all that, but we don't have the same level of contact conditioning that the NFL used to have. And I think there's something to that. I really do. Also, the turf and stuff is creating a lot of issues with these teams. There has to be some reason why all of a sudden we're seeing ACLs and Achilles pop weekly when that used to be a pretty rare occurrence in the NFL.
Listen, I think you're spot on. I think it was well said, and I think you're on the button. This is the same conversation I tried to have with Robin the other night.
Yeah.
Before we get to the honeymoon, we need to be conditioned. We need to be hitting it hard 5 times a day, 7 days a week. We are conditioned to perform regularly on that honeymoon and moving forward in our life.
Leave it to you to make this weird. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Bills, Broncos.
Honey.
Josh Allen missed an opportunity here.
Josh Allen lost the football game.
Yeah, he missed an opportunity to go win him a ring. If you would have told me that was the performance I was going to get from Josh Allen in that game, I'd have told you were crazy. I thought he understood the moment and was just careless with the football. And you cannot be careless with the football in the playoffs. I did not expect that from him. I thought he understood the assignment.
Anybody that does not believe in God, I'm here to tell you he exists, because how he kept me from not wrecking as I had the phone playing the game on my dash because I was going in between the kids' basketball games. Mm-hmm. How I didn't wreck screaming in the rain and in the dark is beyond me. So there is a God. Listen, the fumbles, it's 10-10 there. Mm-hmm. And the Broncos put up 10 points in like the last 37 seconds of the half. At that point, I was like, unless they score coming out of the half, this thing's over. And then they score coming out of the half, and you're like, all right, well, they're going to overcome all this. And it wasn't just the fumbles, and it wasn't just the interceptions.
If the you defense collapse like it normally does?
Well, yeah, I knew that. I knew you couldn't listen. People talk about statistically McDermott's defense. Shut up. I don't want to hear that. Every big game I've seen them have to come up with a stop. They can't do it. I don't care about what happens in week 7 in the regular season. They have never been able to come up with a big stop under his watch, ever, ever, ever. So the thing about Josh Allen, it wasn't the picks. It wasn't the fumbles. It was he had Shakir down the sideline. Shakir had his man beat. and had to slow down, which allowed the defender to catch up. That pass gets broken up. Then he has Keon Coleman for a touchdown.
Yep.
Overthrows him.
And then he had Knox for a touchdown?
I'm getting there. This is leading up. People are just remembering the Knox. Then he has Brandon Cooks wide open. I mean, Brandon Cooks has 3 steps, and he can't hit him.
Yep.
He throws it like over his shoulder out of bounds and had him. Game's over there. Then we get to Dawson Knox, right?
Wide open.
Overthrows Knox. But before Knox, remember the little wide receiver screen that Shakir scored the touchdown?
Yep.
And it got called back because he skipped the ball to him? Like just a regular, like me to this glass throw.
Yep.
And he puts it in. The game's over there. Then he overthrows Knox. Now let's fast forward to overtime. And listen, the NFL wants to give you all these synopsises. I'm not saying it, but again, I'm a Redskins guy. I'm a Bills guy. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cooks is a catch.
Yeah.
It's a catch. I'm sorry, because it happened again.
Historically, if you look back at how the NFL has called that same play, it goes to the receiver. Always.
Well, it went to the Bears the very next day. The same thing happened. The Bears had a catch, very same way.
Yep.
Across the middle. Was it the Bears game? I think it was the Bears game.
The Bears game. Yeah.
But
always the tie always goes to the receiver. That's how it's always been.
Well, not just that. The reason the ball, he was even able to rip it away is because of how Cooks came down on his shoulder, if you watch the replay.
Yeah.
But we never should have been at that point.
No.
And here's why. If you go back and rewind the film and you watch that, Cooks, for the second time in an hour's time, has beaten that guy.
Yep.
He has 2 steps on him. Cooks, running down, has to slow up and wait for the ball.
Yep.
If Allen puts the ball out in front of him,
Cooks goes.
The guy never catches Cooks. It's in his basket. The game ends on an overtime touchdown, and we're talking about one of the greatest plays of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, again, he underthrows or overthrows. So there is 6 throws, I just told you, that weren't just big-time throws. They were 6 throws for touchdowns on top of the turnovers. The reason he was crying is because he knows, and everybody knows, it doesn't matter if the defense should have never been that. They outplayed Denver the whole game.
They did.
They outplayed Denver the whole game.
They did.
Right?
Yeah,
Denver
right.
didn't. Denver, you can say, they created turnovers. The Bills were just careless.
Yeah, they were.
So Josh Allen lost the game, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because that will probably be the closest he ever comes.
Unfortunately, that's my fear. And just absolutely heartbreaking for Bo Nix. That makes me sick to my stomach. You have that injury at the end of that, and that kid can't finish his season like that.
That sucks.
I hate that.
That does suck.
I hate that for him. Texans Patriots went about how I thought it was going to go. CJ Stroud,
Sucks.
just a turnover machine. I don't think we need to really elaborate on that one that much. Rams Bears was a classic. It came down to the things that I thought it would. Caleb Williams a little careless with the football. Stafford was a little more sound, a little more careful with the ball, didn't turn it over. Caleb Williams, a few interceptions there, and that one late. I think Caleb Williams has a ton of talent. I think he is a couple years ahead of schedule. We kind of talked about that last week. Played well, but when it counted, that youth and that carelessness a little bit with the ball kind of bidding.
It did, but him and Ben Johnson are a perfect marriage.
Yes,
the Bears are set up. Yeah. I like Caleb Williams a whole lot more now just because his attitude. Even at the podium, he was fantastic.
He's gotten so much better. I applaud him. I was really hard on him when we were doing
I was hard on him as well.
He's doing much better. Much better.
Yeah. The Bears are a problem, dude. Bears are a problem. Bears are Super Bowl material right now going into next year.
Yep, for sure.
And they're only going to get better.
Yep. All right, we're going to jump and do a little quick breakdown of this weekend's games. Patriots at Broncos. New England favored in this one. This one, the line's kind of bounced around a little bit. Obviously, you got Jared Stidham for the Broncos, which I have not a lot of confidence in. I think the Patriots get this one done in a close game.
Are you laying the 4.5?
Ooh. Yeah. I'll take it.
Ooh, laying. You know what I say about laying points on the road, don't you?
I know.
You'll be sleeping on a park bench. Somebody will be shacked up with your woman because you're
but I have no faith in Jared Stidham. I get like we're gonna let him sling it, and that's the thing. Jared Stidham is not Bo Nix, and I think Denver's defense keeps this game fairly close because the defense is very, very good.
Defense is phenomenal.
But you can't – they're not better than the Texans' defense, and the Patriots, did pretty well against them. So I like New England in this game. I think this could be a touchdown game. Nobody's blowing anybody out. New England's not blowing the Broncos out, not with that defense. I just think Stidham's going to have a hard time. And Vrabel is going to have that defense ready to rock and roll. And they're going to go after Stidham quite a bit. I think New England's going to be too much here. They punched their ticket to the Super Bowl.
20-16, Patriots move on, but the Broncos cover. Stiddy gets the cubby. Listen, I think he's going to play well.
It's going to be cold. I think this is
well.
I think it's a fairly low-scoring game.
Listen, I watched Drake May. Again, I think Drake May is going to be a solid NFL quarterback. I don't think he's going to be this MVP people are making him out to be. But I think he's going to be a solid quarterback for 15 years. I really like him.
Yep.
But the way he turned the ball over, and I get it, Houston's got the number 1 ranked defense, but Denver ain't very far behind. I mean, Denver's given up 15 points per game. Let's just keep that in perspective.
For sure.
And they're at home. That place is going to be nuts in the altitude. Drake May's going to make mistakes, and I think it's going to be a very slow pace. You're going to see a lot of run of the football from New England.
Yep.
And Patriots, Stidham is going to complete like 78% of his throws, because Sean Payton refuses to run the football, and Stidham's going to be throwing wide receiver screens and 2- and 3-yard passes all day long. So he may not get to 250 yards, and he may throw a couple picks, but he's going to complete a whole lot of passes because they're going to force the Patriots to come up and try to play man and then take shots.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
But I like the Patriots 20-16. I do like the Broncos to cover, though. Broncos cover.
All right.
Man's best friend's the home dog.
And then we have Rams at Seahawks. This is going to be a really good game. I do think for Seattle, losing Charbonnet is going to hurt that two-headed monster.
I said that on some of my betting shows over there on Break the Board Sports, and I don't understand why this isn't being talked about more.
You haven't really heard much about it. I mean,
people are just like, business as usual. And I'm like, I'm watching Charbonnet every week carry 5-6 guys, and him and Walker got that two-headed monster. Like, Walker's not going to be as fresh.
Oh.
Again, the Seahawks whole offense is built around Walker, Charbonnet, and then Smith and Jigba.
Yep.
I just don't know why the Charbonnet thing isn't making more news. I think it's a huge blow for the Seahawks.
I do too. As soon as I saw it, I was like, ooh, this is going to be tough for Seattle because they rely on that run game so much.
Yeah.
This is, I think, 2.5 is what Seattle's favored by. I like the Rams here in a close game. I think Stafford's on a mission to punch his ticket back to the Super Bowl. I think they got a lot of offensive weapons. And Seattle, I think that missing – that other piece of that run game is going to hurt them more than you think. And I think the Rams are going to be ready for Darnold.
Listen, I can't trust Sam Darnold. I can't do it.
No.
And I'm not going to do it now when I haven't believed in him the whole time. He's thrown 3 picks against this team. He's thrown 6 picks in 2 games.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay got away from the run. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Kyron Williams. I love a little player prop parlay. Cody Parkinson, tight end of the Rams, 20-plus yards with at least 2 catches. This is going to be a close one. It's not – I would be surprised if this was the 38-37 shootout we saw before. I think it's more towards the 21-19. Like, I think this is a
24-21.
Yeah, 24-21, 24-23.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets as high as 27-23. But the fact that the total has been set at 46.5 and hasn't went to that 47, that would be like 27-20, tells me the books want you to take the over and the game's going to go under. So, yes, I think that 24-21 is more likely. I just think Stafford, listen, as great as the Seahawks defense is, the last 2 games we've watched them play is against an inept San Francisco 49er offense, where if you shut down McCaffrey, the game is over because they don't have big play receivers, and George Kittle was out. And Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. Now you have a huge Hall of Famer and MVP in Matthew Stafford. You have Devontae Adams. You have Puka Nacua. You got a lot of the tight ends, Parkinson and Higbee. Like you got Corum and Kyron Williams. You got arguably the best offensive line in football in the Rams. I just think that as this goes on, the Rams find a way to win this game.
Yep, I do too. Yep, I like the Rams here.
And for all you bettors out there, again, go to breaktheboardsports.com. But I got 2 for you here, Chop. A 6-point teaser. Usually I do the 7-pointers, right? Because I want the extra point. But it actually, where you got lower juice, a 6-pointer will work here for you. Broncos plus 10.5 with the Rams plus 8.5.
I like that. That's a great play.
Yeah. And then I think it's Rams versus Patriots, and you would take the Rams to beat the Patriots, right?
Yes, I would. Close game. I do think it would be. I do think that would be a great game. So
yeah. So if you like Rams to beat the Patriots, you might as well go ahead and bet it now over at FanDuel. If you take the Rams to beat the Patriots, it's 4-1.
Ooh.
So 100 brings you back 400.
I like the odds there. Yeah, I like that a lot.
You like that? I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, one coaching thing we didn't talk about before we get out of here. The Chiefs bring back Bieniemy. Do you think that fixes that?
I knew you'd slide a way to put the Chiefs in here somehow. You just can't help it. I mean, he has to go back. I do like that.
Shout out to Italian Sausage Co. here in Kansas City. Italian deli sandwiches are beautiful.
Are you talking about Italian Sausage Company? I thought you was talking about, my little guy.
They're not Italian, but nice try.
Yeah. Listen, Bieniemy has to go back to the Chiefs. It's the only place that'll hire him.
Yeah, I do think it's a good move, though. I like it.
Sure. If it makes you feel good. If it makes you sleep better, Pumpkin, I'm good with it.
Can't be worse than Matt Nagy, right?
How's that guy going to get another head coaching job? Jeez Louise.
It's bad.
How does that even work?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I think that's all we have for you. You got anything for the people, John? You want to send them off into this cold winter weekend where there's storms everywhere and hopefully everybody's stocked up on whiskey?
Yes, bundle up, have fun, spend some family time, stay off the phones, enjoy some great football. For all you Bears out there, go to breaktheboardsports.com, check out the YouTube page at Break the Board Sports. And listen, remember, 2-team 6-point teaser, Rams plus 8.5 with the Broncos plus 10.5. And remember, whatever you do in life, do it with passion and have a great mindset, whether it's your job, it's family, it's betting, it's your health. If you're going to do it to the full max, man. We only get one life.
Absolutely. I think that's a good message. All right. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. Stay warm, stay bundled up, stay safe, and God bless.
God bless.